It is the start of the World Series in 2019. It is Miami against the New York Yankees. Hi, I'm Ian. This is episode 42 of Miami Masterclass. We are right at the end of this series, and we are about to start the World Series. A quick talk about the Yankees, because I haven't really spoken too much about them. Because I didn't expect them to do anything really, especially this season. Francisco Liriano is their number one pitcher. He will be matching up against Adam Conley. He has been a bit of a journeyman since leaving Pittsburgh. He went to Arizona in a trade, and then he spent a couple of years in Detroit before ending up with the Yankees. His numbers haven't been dreadful, I must admit. He's been a bit all over the place, so it really depends on which Liriano turns up in this World Series. And they've also got Scherzer, of course, and I've never heard of this man before. He looks like he's come through. He played for Tampa Bay in 2015, so he's obviously coming through their system as we speak. Matt, how do you even say that? Matt Andresi? Is that how you say his name? I'm sure someone will correct me. And of course, we all know this man, don't we? So he's going to be featuring as well. They've got a relatively decent lineup too. A couple of big names there. Gregorius, Greg Bird, of course, we all know him. So they look like a pretty decent team. Of course, they only just snuck into the playoffs. We'll go to the wildcard game so we can see it. They were the second team in the American League, the second wildcard spot. They came through. They defeated Baltimore. In the divisional series, they knocked over their big rivals, Boston. They took 5 games to do so. Then in the league championships, they swept Texas. We, of course, didn't sweep the Pirates. We went the whole length. We went 7 games. So the Yankees are very, very well rested. But, that could work against them. So in today's episode, we are only going to play these first 2 games, which are, of course, in New York. So let's get straight into it. As once they finally creates the pictures. So our lineup looks pretty much unchanged, really, because of the loss of Casey Saltis. Raul Muto comes back in the catcher role because Kyle Schwarber is back in the traditional left field position. We are, of course, got the DH as well, so CJ Cron has come in the DH position. AJ Reed is still first baseman. Otherwise, the rest of the positions are all pretty much the same. Kutch is, of course, centre field. Profar in shortstop. Castellanos in third base, and Joe Panic right at the bottom of the order there in second base. We've got Adam Conley on the mound, who in the playoffs hasn't done that fantastically. He's 1 for 2 with a 4.42 ERA, which is almost double what he did during the regular season. For them, though, they've of course got Liriano. Liriano has only made 1 winning decision, but it's got the exact same ERA, so that's going to be quite interesting. They did meet. We have met the Yankees in the regular season, and Francisco Liriano got the win and looked like shut us out completely during his, I don't know whether he did the complete game or not. Adam Conley, he had a losing decision, but he only had a low ERA in the process as well, so this is going to be pretty tight. Of course, these two met up in 2003 in the real world, and the Florida Marlins came away with a 4-2 series win. Of course, the only thing I know about that game is that the Yankees actually outscored Florida and still ended up losing. So I've got a terrible feeling that we could be seeing the exact same thing happen in this game, but we'll have to wait and see. As Adam Conley settles in with the first 2 outs, and that ends the Yankees inning. Come on, boys. Castellanos gets a 1-out double. AJ Reed strikes out. Mazzara gets a 4-pitch walk, though. I'm really hoping we see a bit more from Mazzara in the National League pennant race. Or the series, I should say. Mazzara didn't do very much at all, so I'd really like to see Mazzara come good in the World Series because I think he deserves it. As Kutch gets a single, a 1-out single, in fact, Profile strikes out, and Kutch steals second base. Can Schwarber do something? But he strikes out as well. He's got quite a few home runs in this. In the playoffs so far. Liriano and Conley shutting both teams down. I mean, Adam Conley, as I say, hasn't been playing that well in the playoffs, so he certainly deserves a good game. And he seems to be doing alright. He's held the Yankees to just 1 hit at the moment as Castellanos grounds into a double play and AJ Reed ends the inning striking out. Liriano struck out 6, I think it is. But Adam Connolly certainly doing his own. Hasn't got many strikeouts. Lots of flyouts, but doesn't matter how they come, does it? As Mazara grounds out, Raul Muto unsurprisingly strikes out, and so does Joe Panic. So we are still 0-0 in the middle of the fifth. Tyler Austin walks. That's Connolly's first walk of the game. Didi Gregorius grounds out, which Tyler Austin capitalises on, moves over to second base, but Ben Gamble, he grounds out, and that ends their inning. Kutch gets a lead-off walk. Profile strikes out, but he strikes out an awful lot. Kyle Schwarber grounds into a double play, so the top of the sixth is over very, very quickly. And an error, a rare error by Kyle Schwarber there, allowed Matteo to get on base. He moves over to second. Greg Bird flies out. Aaron Judge, what can he do? He grounds out to end the inning. This is going to be a very, very quick game, I think. I would like to see some runs, but I don't think we're going to see a flurry of runs like we've been doing lately. So Almonte's coming in, and he flies out extra deep. Ben Gamble there hoovers it up, so we are still locked at 0-0. Still got the original starting pitchers on the mound for both teams. Tyler Austin, he gets a single on an infield hit. They got a 2-out single. Plouffe, he gets a single now, so men on first and second. Castillo, he gets the double. Tyler Austin comes home. Plouffe just holds up at third. Matteo gets a single. Plouffe scores. Castillo surely comes home. He does. And they are up 3-0 now. And that is the end of Connolly. Dan Slania comes in. What can Dan Slania do? Can he end this inning before it gets any worse? No, he doesn't, as Ryan Rua gets another single. Matteo moves over to third. Men on the corners. Greg Bird finally strikes out to end the inning. That was a huge inning for the Yankees. They've put 3 on the board. Mazara gets a lead-off double. Can Raul Muto do anything? He's 1-5-7 with runners in scoring position, but he grounds out. Mazara moves over to third. Panic gets a single. Mazara does score. It's 3-1. We're on the comeback, but we're running out of outs. A walk by Kutch. So we've got men on first and second. Profile gets a single. Can Panic come home? He does. Panic comes home. It's 3-2 now. And we've still only got 1 out. And we've got men on first and second. Schwarber is hit by a pitch. Bases are loaded now. Up steps CJ Cron. He flies out to Aaron Judge in right field. But Kutch will tag up and come home. We have tied this game up. Castillo. Why did I say Castillo? Castellanos, he strikes out. So we have tied at 3-3. And that Gary Sanchez, a 1-out single. Estrada with the double. Sanchez moves over to third. This looks worrying. So they've intentionally walked Tyler Austin. Danny Santana flies out to Almonte. Castillo, though, with the single. Gary Sanchez scores. And everyone else will hold. So the Yankees are back up. And another single. Estrada scores this time. Can Tyler Austin come home? No, they don't. So it's 5-3. Dan Slania being knocked around the joint. Pedro Baez now on the mound, of course, for the Marlins. And that ends it. So this is it. This is the final 3 outs. And we are 2 runs down. What can Almonte do? We need a lead-off hit. But he grounds out. Down to our final 2 outs for the first game. Mazara strikes out. Raul Muto keeps the inning alive. But Joe Panic strikes out. That's the ball game. So the New York Yankees take the first game of the 2019 series 5-3. Adam Connolly doesn't get a decision, but he did do very well until that 7th inning. He only gave up 3 runs from the 6 hits. Francisco Liriano lasted a little bit longer and put up very, very similar numbers, but the 8 Ks there to Connolly's 3 was the big difference. And, of course, Liriano got the player of the game in the process. So we really struggled with offense yet again, whereas the Yankees were a little bit better than us. They got a few more hits. Let's hope that Game 2 is slightly more offensive-based for us, because we've been... It seems like when we're on fire with the bats, we are on fire. But when we're not, we just do not get a hit. We just cannot buy a hit. So Taylor Jungmann is on the mound for us this time. He's been doing so well in the playoffs. I really hope he continues that fine form. And they've got Max Scherzer, who, you know what, isn't that fantastic? We really should get something from him. He's played us a couple of times by the looks of it. Massive ERA there. You can see that right in the bottom right. Playoffs, he's been putting up okay numbers, but during the regular season, very, very poor. So basically the complete opposite to Taylor Jungmann. So let's hope that Taylor Ewing carries on where he left off, as we're going to get straight into this one. 2 outs very, very quickly. Kyle Schwarber flies out. That's the end of our inning. Nothing going. Now, Taylor Ewing, as I say, he's been playing so well in the playoffs. He's just been lights out. He had a complete game for us in the last one. And Matteo gets a solo home run to give them the lead with no outs. The very first at-bat, they've got a solo home run. Gregorius flies out. Greg Bird gets a single to get on base. Estrada strikes out, and so does Aaron Judge. So the Yankees have a 1-0 lead already after just one inning of play. And it does look like we are really struggling to get hits. As I say that, CJ Cron gets on base with a single. Castellanos strikes out. Castellanos has been doing very well for us, and he didn't do anything yesterday. So we've got men on first and second. Almonte with the single. Cron comes home. So we have tied it up at 1 with 2 outs. What can Joe Panic do? Joe Panic has really struggled in the playoffs. He grounds out a 6-3, and that ends it. So we've been constantly playing catch-up here as Ryan Rua gets a double. Tyler Austin gets a single. Rua moves over to third. They got men on the corners with 1 out. Gamble flies out to centre field to catch, but Rua does come home on the tag. Can Matteo add to their tally? No, he grounds out, so they take a 2-1 lead now. On the tag, was it tag? I can't remember now. Profile flies out, and so does Kyle Schwarber. The top of our order just is not firing at all, and you can't win games when they're not firing. It's as simple as that. Greg Bird gets a single to get on base. Estrada, though, grounds into the double play, so that ends their inning very, very quickly. And Mazzara with the solo home run. He's finally shown that power that he's got, and we have tied things up at 2. Castellanos grounds out for the second out, and AJ Reed strikes out looking. But the solo home run from Mazzara ties the game at 2-2. We are not out of this game, but we're not, taking a stranglehold on it. We're constantly playing catch-up, and I don't like that at all. Now, Monte grounds out to start out, 5th inning? There you go. Fly out, strikes out on the swinging pass ball and reaches first, but nothing will happen from that as Kutch gets stranded on first base. As both pitchers seem to be sort of settling down a little bit now. Matteo gets a walk. Can Gregorius do anything for the Yankees? It does look like Matteo's still second base, but Gregorius grounds out. So we're still locked at 2 after 5 innings. Max Scherzer doing very well. Schwarber gets on base. Mazzara strikes out swinging. CJ Cron walks. We've got men on first and second, 1 out. Castellanos grounds out. Schwarber over to third. Cron moves up to second. AJ Reed with the single to left field. That brings home Schwarber. That brings home Cron. And we are leading this game 4-2 now. Abraham Almonte strikes out to end the inning, but we have finally taken the lead in this World Series for the first time. Now, can we restrict them? Because it seems like as soon as we lose our starting pitcher, we struggle, because Justin DeFratis is on the mound now. Aaron Judge gets on base on 2 outs, but Ryan Rua strikes out, and that is the end of their inning. Joe Panic been very, very disappointing for us so far. Andrew McCutchen with the double. What can Profile do? He's also been hitless. Kutch steals third base. This is a real opportunity to us. Profile grounds out on a very, very poor play. Schwarber grounds out as well, and we leave Kutch stranded on third, which has been the story of the playoffs for us. I mean, Kutch must be frustrated as all hell. Gamble gets a 2-out walk, but Matteo strikes out. That's DeFratis' 4th K in 2 innings. We are heading to the top of the 8th. Mazzara strikes out. Cron grounds out, and so does Castellanos. A very, very quick inning for us. Severino pitching very, very well for them. And Didi Gregorius has halved the deficit with a solo home run to right field. Greg Bird, he does the exact same thing as Kutch. He gets on base on a swinging strike pass ball. Aaron Judge hit by a pitch. They got men on first and second with only 1 out. That's the 2 outs. Austin gets the single. Do they come home? Greg Bird scores, and Judge gets to third. So we are locked up at 4-4. Can Gary Sanchez do anything for the Yankees to give them the lead? No, he doesn't. So we are locked at 4-4 going into the 9th. I don't think my nerves can take this. So AJ Reed on the mound for us. And he gets hit by a pitch. On the first pitch, he gets hit. Almonte sacrifices. That does allow Reed to move over to second base. Panic. He needs to do something. He does. He singles to left field. Ryan Rua, but won't do anything because AJ Reed comes home. It is 5-4. Joe Panic comes up big. Andrew McCutcheon grounds into the double play, though. That's a bit of a mood killer. But we have picked up that vital run. RJ Alvarez on the mound. That's one out, Don. Matteo strikes out. Gregorius grounds out. The game is over. We just squeaked by them, literally as the play-by-player said. We've squeaked by 5-4. I don't think we deserve that. We are just not getting hits. But a win is a win. We have tied the World Series up at 1 game apiece. And Taylor Jungmann actually picks up player of the game. He gave up 2 runs on 5 hits over the 5 innings. Max Scherzer gave up 4 runs from 4 hits with 5 1/3 innings played. But again, Scherzer got more Ks than Jungmann did. We seem to be striking out an awful lot. Profar hitless yet again, and Castellanos hitless as well. Otherwise, everyone else picks up a hit here and there, so that's okay. The Yankees will feel a little bit disappointed because they left 7 on base. We left 5 on base. Poor old Kutch getting stranded at third yet again, and we are tied at 1. We are so close. We are very, very close. So we've got Aaron Blair on the mound for us in the next game against this man. Where is he? Pineda. So this one should be a cracking game. Aaron Blair's been struggling a little bit in the playoffs, but Pineda looks like he's been doing even worse than Aaron Blair. So tune in a couple of days as we'll play that next 3-game stand. Of course, this one will be at home, and we will hopefully take a couple of games from the Yankees and put ourselves in a great position to finally win a World Series under my control. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in a couple of days.